Hello world of YouTube, and welcome to a bit of an offshoot from the listening log updates, because in those, I really just wanted to talk about records, but I did get a first since I started doing this, and that's an EP request, and I figured instead of lumping it into the main video, because again, I want to keep those strictly albums, I'd do a little video talking about an EP that was requested. If more get requested, I'll keep this around, because I do listen to EPs, as well, and I have some listed in the listening log update. If you want to hear me talk about those as well, let me know, and I'll do like a catch-up, roundup on all the EPs I've heard this year. But, regardless, let's get into the one that was requested.
Let's hear it for Johnny.
My buddy Austin requested this collaborative EP, Teatime Dub Encounters, that sees Underworld, the electronic producers, and Iggy Pop, famous singer-songwriter, coming together. I like both of these acts on their own. Iggy Pop with his solo working with the Stooges, and I love Underworld as well, from like the Wipeout soundtrack and the Trainspotting soundtrack, where both of these artists were featured. And I thought it was cool that they were coming together, and honestly, even though I really like Trainspotting too, I think it would have been interesting to see some of these songs on that soundtrack, because they sound like they kind of would have fit pretty well. And holistically, I think this project comes together a lot better than I think some might have thought it would have. You know, it's not perfect. There's some songs that one artist outshines above another, but all in all, this project is pretty fucking good. The opener, Bells and Circles, and the closer, Get Your Shirt, have Underworld doing this kind of 90s big beat style that was really refreshing to hear, especially on Bells and Circles. I love it's kind of not monotonous, but it's kind of droning beat that just kind of keeps going while Iggy Pop rambles about, you know, smoking on airplanes and doing drugs and hitting on stewardesses. It's an interesting project, and I will say your tolerance for spoken word, because that's what Iggy Pop is doing on this project, will dictate your love of it, but I thought some of it was really interesting. Even though the instrumental on Get Your Shirt is good, I don't think the words Iggy Pop is saying are as compelling. But on the adverse of that, I'll See Big has some really great topics that Iggy Pop talks about with a pretty underwhelming instrumental. I think this thing starts off strong. The first two tracks, Bells and Circles and Trapped, provide two different flavors of Underworld with two similar but different flavors for Iggy Pop. Bells and Circles kind of reflecting in a glamorous way about the past, while Trapped reflects in a very negative way, and it talks about feeling trapped, and its instrumental enhances that claustrophobic feeling. It's a very bleak sounding song, and I think it works really well. And I think that song, or even I'll See Big, because it does fit into Trainspotting 2, would have worked really well on that soundtrack. I was glad that Austin suggested this, because it was something that was on my docket. I just moved it up and was happy with what I heard. I do think it would be interesting to see these guys come together and do a full-fledged project. I don't know if it would be as consistent as this, because, again, this is, even though it's really good, still a little inconsistent, but I think it would be interesting to still see a full project, potentially. If you like electronic music and spoken word, it's definitely for you. If you like big beat electronic, at least check out Bells and Circles. I think it's the biggest highlight on the project, and it's a strong opener for it. I give this a 7 out of 10. Let me know what you thought about this. Let me know if you think I should talk about my other EPs I've listened to and a catch-up again. But I'm gonna go. I have been Viralrak. You guys have good days, lives, and situations, and I'll see you another day.